Assalamu alaikum all. Hope you all are fine, enjoying sound health and being best in your life and in the others, obviously. Right. So today we are going to talk about the promises, actually the then and catch syntax. So first of all, we have a function, and then we have a promise in the function, and in the promise we have a condition that decides whether the status of the promise is resolved or reject. Right. If the status is resolved, then this then block of code would be executed, and if the status is rejected, then this catch block of code would be executed, and both of the blocks must return something so that we may decide where to go next, we should go to the then block to the catch block. Right. So there is a website called Coding Games, and here is this topic: JavaScript Promises. I have taken 3 codes from here from its quiz, that is 13 out of 17. Right. You can also visit this website. There is some amazing content on this topic. If you are starting learning this topic, then it's the good choice. Right. We have this code one here. This is a function called job, and inside this function we have a promise. But you can see that there is no condition. So the status of this promise would always be rejected. So the status is rejected. So only catch command would be executed. So where is the catch command? Then block. Here we have catch block. So this catch block would be executed, and added one would be printed. Okay, and now there is a catch. After this block, what must be next? It would only be depending on the returning value of this block, that it's returning nothing. So if a block is returning nothing, then it would be returning undefined. Right. So obviously it's not returning any error. Right. So because of this dot then command would surely be executed, because now the returned value is not an error. Right. So that's why when we would, first of all, let's clear the console and now execute, run this code. You can see that first of all we have added one, and then we have success 4. Right. And if we use the data here, that is the return value, then what is it? You can see that the return value is undefined. And if we are returning here our job function that has a promise, and the status of the promise is rejected, it means that there is an error. So right, just delete it. Successful. So now we are returning here the error. So it means that it would next go to the catch command, but we don't have any catch command after this. So when we would execute it, here it is. Here is the error now, because we are not dealing with this error. We are returning an error, and this shows the same. You can see that unhandled promise. As I told you earlier, that catch block is used to handle the promise. We don't have any catch block here further, so that's why it's saying that unhandled promise. Right. I hope the code 1 is very much clear to you now. So here's the code 2. We have a job function, we have a promise in it, and then we have a status. So if the input is true, we would have resolve status, and if the input is false, we would have this error, or we can say reject status. Right. First of all, we have true, so the status would be resolved, and then this then block would be executed, and then it is returning job with input false. It means that now it is returning the promise with the status that is reject. So the catch block would be executed now, and what it is returning, it is returning error code. What does it returning? It is returning a string, right? Not any kind of error. So this dot then command would surely be executed now. And what is returning now? It is returning job true, like resolve status. So this dot catch command would not be executed here. That is a very simple approach that we can use to guess what would be the output of this type of code. So you can see success, error, and error code, right? So now we have code 3. Same, it has a function, it has a promise in it, and it has a condition in it, right? So first of all, we have job true. So this dot then command would be executed, and what it is returning, again job true. So this dot then command would be executed, and here it is using throw. This throw keyword, what does it do? It just slip or directly go to the first catch block it finds, and it returns value defeat, right? So after this code block we have this catch block. So here the defeat value would be returned. So the defeat would be printed out here, and it would return job false. Means promise with the reject status. So then again this catch block would be executed. The value error here, it would be printed, and then it is returning error card. Now it is not returning any promise with any error, right? So this dot then command would surely be executed now, and the value here would be error code because it is returning here, right? So error code would be printed, and after this, in the real example we have here new error test, right? So this new keyword is used to define the, you can see that the constructor. We have different type of constructors. We have object constructors, like new object. We can define objects, we can define new array, right? So it is returning an error, but it is not an actual error, right? If it is error, then we must write here throw, so that it may directly go to the catch block. If we are writing here return, then it would go to the then block, and then this data dot message actually gives us the description of the error that is defined in this way, right? And if we execute it, code 3, so you can see that a success test is executed like this. This block is executed actually. So if I define like this, now you can see that now this block is executed. I unknowingly here returned an error because it is nothing. Either it must be a string, we must write it in a string way if we don't want an error. Like here we go, because we don't have an error here. Dot message is only used for the errors, right? So that's why we are having here undefined. If we just remove dot message from here and then run this code, we can say that success DDD, right? But when we are writing it like this, it was being considered as an error, right? So that's all for today. I hope you like the video. Thanks for watching. If you have any type of question, you can ping me out.